One of those is Bret Hart being officially released from WCW. I guess they had a clause in their contract where if you're not able to compete due to injury after a certain number of days, they can opt out of your contract. WCW elects to do that, and the Bret Hart era of WCW has come to an end. Of course, he came over in November. I guess he made his official debut in December of 1997. And here we are, less than 3 years later, and it's done. Of course, we know he was never quite the same after Goldberg kicked his head in the 13th row. But I talked about this just yesterday on 83 Weeks with Eric Bischoff. Is Bret Hart, I asked him, is Bret Hart the greatest miss of your WCW career? The biggest, I didn't say miss. I guess I said that you wish you had a do-over on.
Mm-hmm.
He said, absolutely. He wishes he had a do-over on Bret Hart. In your management career, is there one do-over that hangs out there for you like Bret does for Eric?
That's interesting that Eric, well, all right, I need to think on mine and something will come to my mind. But I remember when this kind of went down that a couple of factors went in my thinking, like, okay, wow, WCW, that is he's injured, and that is obviously tabled as a cost-cutting measure, but is Bret done forever? Like, it was surprising. I think it was surprising in the locker room. And also I thought, and partly I'd known Bret a long time, my own relationship and my Bret relationship, in that, wow, he went from, we'll call it the Montreal screw job situation, and it just really went south. I can't say from day one, but his WCW career never followed. So it was one of those things that I remember in kind of the whole timeline of WCW, that just massive disappointment in that it takes creative and talent. If you don't have both, you are a rudderless ship, and it was disheartening. Biggest misses, Conrad. I know people are going to eat me up on this. Going to say, remember this or remember that. Gosh, I mean, you could easily say, well, Jeff, you didn't hang on to CM Punk, but I mean, we were doing nightlies on Wednesdays. That it was that I don't think that would really be in that category. Misses. You got any off the top of your head, Conrad, that could possibly be? I'll answer for you, but I'm having a hard time, and maybe it's my mindset on, because a misses would be I regret. I don't, it's not like I woke up any morning and said, you know what, I'm gonna try to screw my job up. I did the best I could at the time. Misses. Connie, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Maybe one will come to me, but it is interesting to hear that Eric thought that was his biggest miss.
Yeah, it's the one he wishes he had a do-over on the most.
Yeah, and I get that.